automatic connection, and again, I think
Well, I special interview with Russell Kent.
It's just to understand the scale of what happened, and it wasn't just people from Britain. 450,000
The E-Day anniversary, Bank Holiday, Monday, 5th of May, 2025.
Came and fought
13:05 p.m. this afternoon right now.
Tyranny, and that should never ever be forgotten. And that's why, if we can get that message out to the kids, they'll pass it on to the next generations.
Well, I'll certainly be talking to my children, I'm sure you will, about today. Ross, thank you so much.
I love the historical history of First World War and Second World War. I always admire
delighted
it.
to be joined by Ruth Clower.
Yeah, put the thumbs up the right side screen.
She joined
Spice
the
on the sign,
Women's
Jevons.
Auxiliary Air Force as a mechanic, and she's here with us now. You are 101 years old, aren't you?
Whoa.
You have an extraordinary story.
101?
You came over, you were born in
No
Germany.
way.
Yes. Your father
She was like she's
fled to Germany.
She looks like she's 60 years old.
He was a very wise man. He said he'd read Hitler's book,
1 years
Mein
old.
Kampf,
Lord.
and the man meant what he said. And if he comes to power, we leave. So we left in 1933 in good time before you could take all your belongings and so on. Yeah.
And you played your part in the war. You were asked if you wanted to be a cook.
Outstanding.
I didn't want to be a cook.
And then you could have been a batwoman.
That's right.
Which was
well, I didn't
pressing
want to
people's suits and things like that. So you ended up
keeping officers looking smart, making sure their buttons and shoes.
Oh, we got to look smart, haven't we,
and you ended up being a mechanic, didn't you?
Well, I felt that I'd better be a flight mechanic, although I had no idea what a spanner was even in those days.
Blimey.
But the course was absolutely amazing. I mean, at the end of it,
Can't believe it, 101 years old.
But at the end of it, they had taken a Tiger Moth, which is a single-engine plane, sort of to pieces, and with another person doing the test, we had to put it together and make it flight-worthy.
Yeah, the metals to the right.
So it was a really
She's
good
certainly a
course.
veteran.
Practical work and theory of flight and hydraulics. And
so you spent the war fixing the planes. You were.
Yes, I did airframes, not engines. Yes, that's right. It was it was an amazing life. Really.
The right side screen.
What has come back to me is how we all came from different backgrounds, different sort of education. There weren't that many women doing this. At least not on my station. But we all got on together, we all worked together, learned to trust each other.
Spice on sign, Jevons.
And I just wish that in today's world people could not emphasize the differences but work together, get things done. I do think difference is what people fear, and therefore is something we've got to think about, how to make it possible, even if when there's not a common enemy, for people to trust each other more. And so that was a very important lesson I learned, that you could get on with anybody.
On side,
because I slept in a Nissen hut with